and Gyökeres, they would have been done. I think Berta might have focused on some outgoings, the numerous names we've discussed. Then when we kind of get that, we see how much wages we have to play around with and whatnot, then I think we'll go for Eze, because at this moment in time where I look at Eze, it just feels like we're talking to his camp. We haven't officially started anything. To be fair, we've heard that with Rodrigo. Why I would like both, as you said, we're greedy. I think I'd be more gassed. It's disingenuous to Eze. I'll be gassed. I'll be excited. I really like Eze. And the same goes for Rodrigo. I just think for me, in my head, Rodrigo would probably be more of a statement signing because of the Real Madrid and all of that. But then when I break it down, you both be great players, innit? Like, you're going to get slapped on the left-hand side. It's just, I don't think you'd have a problem in the Prem. But I don't know if you'll succeed. I don't know for the physicality. I'm not saying you're not a star and all of that stuff, but it's easy. It's not easy, but like, you know, all the stars you've got at Real Madrid. I've seen Saka do it by himself. To a degree, I know Palace have had ballers, but I've seen Eze do it by himself. And then for me, if they're both really difficult, piggybacking off what you said, I think it's better to just focus on Eze. He's got a release clause. He's got that Arsenal attraction. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's got a release clause to kind of operate with. With Rodrigo, everything's conflicting. I don't even know if Xabi Alonso was to say to Rodrigo, like, bro, you're not going to play as much as you think. He might sit there and say, you know what, it's a World Cup year, stability. When I get an opportunity, I'm going to take it. I'm going to grab it with both arms and whatnot. So for me, I would focus on Eze. But what I would say is, if you get Eze and Rodrigo, either all great. If you get one and not the other, great. But when I see Eze, I see a versatile attacker that can impact us in a number of roles, right? When I see Rodrigo, that also counts with him. But I see a talismanic left winger. If we remove the fact that it's Eze and Rodrigo, and I couldn't sit here, Babs, and tell you who to get, that just tells me that's the sort of player you're looking for. I still need those kind of players to rock him through the door, because I still think we're a bit short. Like, where do you actually think we'll bring in, like, how many numbers do you think we'll bring in again? Like, do you think we'll bring in one more attacker, 2 attackers, none? Because some Arsenal fans with PTSD. Like, do you think after Gyökeres we'll actually get someone else?
I mean, we've got 6 players in so far, and 2 of them are attackers. But I think there will be a third. I hope so, at least. Fingers crossed, touch wood. And I think it will be an attacking midfielder. So it solves what we need there. And the 7 players is quite a lot of signings coming in. So people talk about sign. Some of the best teams, they haven't signed players and they've gone on to win titles, i.e. Liverpool last season, keeping the main players fit and, you know, giving them the best platforms as well. But for me, yeah, I think we'll get that third attacker, and that 7 signings for the window. I can't ask for much more. That's, I think, over £200 million spent. So I do believe we'll get an Eze or another attacking midfielder, and I feel like it will boost the squad quite a lot and the fan base, and it'll give the window the little icing on top that it needs.
I think you're bang on. Help me make sense of the Madueke thing, because for me, this is how I feel about Madueke. I don't feel it was needed per se. Obviously, support the lad all the way and whatnot. Can't see how it's a game changer. All right, cool. If he works on the left-hand side, it's amazing. Someone that can, you know, fight. Well, not really fight, but deputize with Saka. Young, English. If that's what Arteta wanted, that's what you get. That's one less excuse type of thing. I don't think he's as bad as... I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's as bad as some fans have made out. I get it, because it is going and buying Chelsea players again. It is 50 million where we're working with a kind of tight budget. You can't really see where you're going to improve our team kind of thing, if that kind of makes sense. Beyond that, though, I do think he should be given an opportunity. I think I speak for every decent human being. By all means, be happy about his signing or be sad. The whole petition business, and even worse than that, the DMs is the DMing him on Instagram and all that's nonsense. We'll be supporting him all the way. But we want to get over the line. I kind of feel on paper, Madueke, I'm not saying he's better or worse than Trossard and Martinelli. And I know Kai scored a lot of goals, but Kai, in that, you don't know what you're getting in it. Like, Gyökeres is coming through the door, but Saka is the only one I know right now is doing the business. So help me make sense of the Madueke stuff, man.
I think the only thing I've seen numbers-wise that make me go, okay, cool, it makes sense to why I also saw it as an opportunity was the directness. I saw a stat where I think apart from Jeremy Doku, he's one of the most direct players in the league. And I want that. Ultimately, I want players at my club now that are not scared to, you know, just be unpredictable and take players on and be mavericks. And we saw it last year at times where those 0-0 draws, or those the draws that we had all of last season, a lot of the times the players were passive. Apart from Saka, how many players were taking players on and give the man in the ball with the confidence and the self-belief to go again? Because as a wide forward or as an attacker, you will lose the ball, you will miss chances. But if you've got the mindset to go again, then you're going to go and win more games of football. And ultimately, if you shoot, you score, you know, and it's one of those where Madueke takes a lot of shots as well. And I think he took, like, was it 4 per game last season or 3? One of the highest in the Premier League.
There's something in him for sure.
He's a player who has a lot of self-belief. Because even at Chelsea, where a lot of fans, I don't think he was not rated. When Havertz left, a lot of fans were like, thank God he's gone. because he was missing so many chances, and fans were done with him. When Madueke
And
is
my
gone,
group
there
chat,
were a
they
lot
were
of
saying he was
fans
their
that
best
were
winger last season.
he was growing. He was getting better and better, and he's not a player that I went into the window going, okay, I want that. But in terms of Mikel Arteta, he might have seen something and gone, look, for that price tag, what he's worth for £50 million now, I can make him into a 60, £70 million wide forward. And I can
He
see
has no choice now.
Oh, he has to. It's a risk from Mikel Arteta's side of things. If it works out, you go, all right, Mikel.
You put your name on that now, Arteta.
Exactly. And I feel that is quite a Mikel Arteta push signing, to be quite honest. The Havertz deal is still quite controversial, even to this day. Of did it work out? Was it worth the money? Was it worth the wages? On the Madueke side of it, the price tag's higher than I would have paid, but I don't think the wages are too high. I think he was only on like 50k a week at Chelsea, and I think he'll probably be on similar at Arsenal, if not slightly higher. But it only makes sense to me. It will only make sense to me of spending £50 million on the player if he's come to be a starter. I don't see him starting with Bukayo Saka.
This is what I'm
saying. He can play on the left-hand side because Mikel's always wanted another left-footed winger. He went for Rafinha. We saw Leroy Sané links to the earlier in this window as well. So he's wanted that profile. I think, Mudrik's another one. I think, is he not right-footed though? Mudrik is right-footed, no?
No, to be fair, I actually see him use both his feet, to be fair.
Yeah, but I feel like in Madueke, a lot of the stigma from the Arsenal fan base is less the quality of the player, and what they've seen is the fact that he's Chelsea. That's the main thing. When I look at a transfer, I look at the quality of the player itself and what he can offer to the side. And I feel he offers stuff that we don't really have. More directness on the left-hand side. Players got self-confidence to shoot from range or inside the box. Good ball striking as well. I actually feel like when it came to signing Chelsea players, I didn't rate Havertz that highly compared to Madueke. I feel like he's got a lot more to work with, and what fans see, the aesthetic purposes as well. His dribbling's a bit unorthodox, but it's effective. I think last year compared to most Arsenal wide forwards, he was quite high in terms of dribbles completed, progressive carries, and stuff like that. So there's stuff to work with, and we're talking about guys still 23 as well. We're not talking about the worst winger in the world who we spent £90 million on. I feel there's quality there, but I get why Arsenal fans have got the stigma with Chelsea because of our previous signings. But I think Jorginho was fine in my eyes. I didn't look at David Luiz as a massive failure either. I think Havertz has been what he is so far. But I get it. I think Arsenal fans are like, if we give them the money now, they can go sign a Xavi Simons, who sounds more exciting on paper. If we'd signed Madueke from PSV, there'll be a lot more excitement. Yeah, same player, same quality, same age.
Yeah.
But it's more how fans see it from rival clubs, and it's like the whole tribalism in football right now.
That's the issue. And for Madueke, I give you all the support. I do think I don't know about internally, but externally, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Arteta, a lot of pressure on the boys to deliver. Obviously, people are expecting big things from the Zubimendis, from the Gyökereses. It's a bit positive and negative with Madueke, but the draw outs are kind of pending. I just feel like I like the fact you like to take people on. I like the point you made about him being a left-footed person. I like the fact that he could obviously rotate in and out. And I say it again, I don't think he's as bad. The only issue is, and even when you go on Arsenal.com and you read what Berta and Arteta said, they talk a lot about metrics, and I understand it. That's how you scout people, the amount of take-ons. I actually feel he gets into the box and box crashes a lot. The only issue with that is, though, as naive as this is, I do think to a degree we're at the point now, the only statistics that matter with any of these attackers is, can you get goals? Can you get assists? That is kind of it. And I'm kind of squinting, if I'm honest with you, with Madueke. So it's not even that I'm getting at Madueke. Arteta, I need you to make that work. And I also feel we don't know what the club's working within it, but you see how there's a 68 million release clause for Eze. If it is a case, and we know it's not the same, but we're negotiating for Eze. They're saying 68 million. We're saying we've only got 58, and there's a 10 million discrepancy, and it doesn't happen. God forbid, Arsenal fans are rightly going to say, "Oh yeah, so why did you spend 50 on Madueke where you could have saved money and done X, Y, Z?" All we can hope for with Madueke is that it works. Arteta has to make it work. We need to get over the line in that kind of regards, man. What do you feel about that? It's not as glamorous, it's not as sexy, but like the stopgap signings, like we've touched on Zubamendi. I know you're a big fan of his, but what do you make of the Ødegaard? Maybe not so much yesterday because I don't know how much you read into it, but what do you make of the purchase of Ødegaard, of Kepa? Well, he ain't been announced yet, but Mascara and all of that, and whoever I ain't said.
I think the stopgaps are talking is Kepa and Ødegaard. I think Mascara is more of a long-term player who can come into the team. You're building a squad where if you've got so many games in the Champions League and you're going to compete for the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, you need to have more quality players. And Arteta's always wanting another right-footed centre-back. We've talked about Guehi in the past as well, but Mascara fits that bill.
Right back as well.
Ødegaard and Kepa are decent signings, and they don't need to have much more said on that. They're players that do the job for now. In terms of Ødegaard, I think he's still, right now, our only player who's over 30, which is, for me, kind of a concern. Because I feel like I think he's the only player over 30 right now. He's 31. And when you compare to Liverpool last year and teams that have won a title, like Man City, They've got a lot more players, not just I'm talking about 30s, but in their late 20s. They've got a lot of experience.
We've got a couple of those.
Because we've let go of Jorginho, we let go of Partey. I think Kepa is probably at 28. So right now, I think Ødegaard is our only player over 30. And he's not out.
He's basically just Kepa's just turned 30.
So he got two now. Hold on. He got two.
You got two, yeah. Trust.
That's like we need to talk about. We still lack a lot of like players like that in their prime, that are 28, 29. Gyökeres is one of those players. Hence why I like the sign.
Gyökeres, Zubi.
Gyökeres,
mid to late 20s. I get you.
Yeah. Like you look at Liverpool's call last year. Virgil van Dijk is well in his 30s. Mo Salah is well in his 30s. So these are players that they know what they're about. They know how to do it. They've got the experience, and it's great for other players. The positive for Arsenal is our young players are also like 23, so they've got a level of experience. Like Bukayo Saka's 23, but he's got so much more experience than a lot of other players do. So we do have players to work with there, but these players are nowhere near their physical complete prime. So I think it is lack of experience for me is a bit of an issue, and I don't think a lot of fans have talked about it so far. But in terms of Ødegaard, he doesn't deserve any massive over-analysis. He's a solid signing. He'll do a job. He's got like a good defensive ability. So in games where Arsenal need to hold it down, you can bring him off the bench. I think in terms of last season, I saw the stat yesterday from Arsenal where they were saying he had the most shots from set pieces. So again, another aspect to your play.
That's going to excite our coaching stuff still.
Yeah, of course it will. And again, in games where you're chasing it and you want to throw another set piece guy on, a guy who can get his head onto the ball, you got another option there as well. And Kepa's just a solid backup goalkeeper, And the deal made sense. Even regardless of that, what you're getting is a player who's starting last year for Bournemouth. I think that was their best ever finish. And it's £5 million. Where's the risk there? Of course, Arsenal fans would love to have João Garcia, but then you have the uncomfortable conversation: does he start over David Raya?
Exactly what I said last summer, bro.
He's going to Barcelona, and he'll probably be a starter there. So it's one of those where it's hard to see anything wrong with those signings itself. Zubimendi is very exciting. The performance yesterday was
changing our lives. I'm going to say